Mike Brown just walked into Madison Square Garden with a playbook that won 4 championships in Golden State. And if you think the Knicks are just going to run the same old offense with Karl-Anthony Towns camping at the top of the key, you're dead wrong. What Brown's planning to do with Cat and Jalen Brunson might be the most dangerous thing the Eastern Conference has seen in years. Look, I'm not here to waste your time with hot takes. I'm here because Mike Brown's first few weeks with the Knicks have revealed something massive. A complete offensive transformation that nobody saw coming. We're talking about turning the most ball-dominant point guard in the NBA into an off-ball threat, and converting a 7-footer who lived at the three-point line into an offensive hub that defenses can't solve. And here's the kicker. Brown already knows this works. He's done it before, multiple times, with championships to prove it. When the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau after reaching the Eastern Conference Finals, the basketball world scratched its head.
No. Tom Thibodeau fired? What the?
You just went further than you had in 25 years, and you're making a change? Then they hired Mike Brown, and suddenly, it made sense. Brown isn't some unproven coordinator getting his first shot. This is a 2-time Coach of the Year who's been on the bench for 4 NBA championships. He was with the Spurs when they won in 2003. He was with the Warriors for 3 titles, and went 12-0 as acting head coach during the 2017 playoffs when Steve Kerr was out. But here's what matters most. Brown took Sacramento from the longest playoff drought in NBA history, 16 years, and got them back to the postseason in his first year. He did it by implementing the same motion-heavy, pace-and-space system that the Warriors perfected. The Knicks didn't just hire a coach. They hired a system. And that system is about to change everything. Let's talk about what Brown's doing with Karl-Anthony Towns, because this is where things get really interesting. Last season with the Knicks, Towns was essentially a stretch 5 who hung out at the three-point line. He'd trailer in transition, pop out for threes, maybe roll to the rim occasionally. It was fine, it worked, but it wasn't special. Brown looked at that and said, no, we're not doing that anymore. In training camp, Brown revealed his vision. Towns is going to be everywhere. Weak corner, strong corner, wings, even pushing the ball in transition. Here's the stat that tells you everything. Only 6.9% of Towns' shots came from the corners last season. Brown wants to change that completely. Why? Because when Mitchell Robinson comes back and plays the 5, Towns will slide to the 4. And having a 7-footer who can shoot 42% from 3 operating out of the corners, that's a defensive nightmare. But it goes deeper than that. Brown sees Towns the same way he saw Domantas Sabonis in Sacramento, as an offensive hub. Not just a pick-and-pop guy, not just a catch-and-shoot threat, an actual playmaker that offenses can run through. Think about what that means. Towns averaged 3.1 assists last year, but he's capable of so much more. He's got the vision, the passing ability, and now he'll have the freedom. When the ball runs through a big man with Towns' shooting gravity, it bends defenses in ways they can't account for. And this is where Brown's Warriors' influence becomes crystal clear. In Golden State, they didn't just run offense through Steph Curry. They had Draymond Green as a passing hub at the elbow. They had constant motion, constant cutting, constant decision-making from multiple positions. Brown wants Towns to be that kind of multi-dimensional threat. Not just scoring, but creating for others while keeping his own scoring options open. Now here's where it gets wild. Jalen Brunson was the most ball-dominant player in the entire NBA last season. The ball was in his hands for 49% of his minutes. Almost half the time he was on the floor, he had the ball. That's not happening anymore. Brown's system requires something different from Brunson. Instead of pounding the ball for 20 seconds every possession, Brunson's going to become more of a versatile weapon. Still the primary playmaker, but now capable of playing off the ball too. And Towns himself has talked about this. He wants to get Brunson open the same way the Warriors got Steph Curry open. Think about what that actually means. Imagine Brunson running off multiple screens, flying around picks, forcing switches, creating chaos without the ball in his hands. Defenses already struggle to contain him when he's driving downhill. Now they have to chase him around screens while Towns is making reads from different spots on the floor.
That's not just different, that's dangerous. Brown learned the system from the best. He was on the Warriors bench when they revolutionized basketball with their motion offense. He watched Curry destroy teams, both on and off the ball. He saw how defenses collapsed when you had multiple decision makers and constant movement, and now he's bringing that to New York. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't diminish Brunson. It actually makes him more lethal. When defenses know you're going to have the ball 49% of the time, they can load up, they can prepare, they can scheme specifically for that. But when you're a threat both on and off the ball, when the defense has to account for you cutting, screening, spotting up, and still running pick and rolls, that's when you become impossible to guard. Here's something people aren't talking about enough. Mitchell Robinson changes everything.
When Robinson's healthy, and that's always the question, he's one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. He averaged 16 rebounds in the preseason opener in Abu Dhabi. 16 in 18 minutes. Brown praised Robinson's next play speed after that game. He talked about how Robinson doesn't hesitate, doesn't take extra steps, just immediately flips the switch from offense to defense. Brown even compared him to a football player chasing down an interception. Pure instinct, pure effort. But Robinson's real value in this system isn't just defense. It's what he allows Towns to do. With a traditional rim-running, shot-blocking center next to him, Towns doesn't have to worry about being the primary defender. He can roam. He can help. He can use his length on the perimeter without being exposed inside. And offensively, having Robinson rolling hard to the rim while Towns is spotting up or operating as a passer, defenses have to choose. Do you help on the Robinson roll and give Towns an open three? Do you stay home on Towns and give up the lob? Do you bring another defender and leave Brunson, Bridges, or Anunoby open?
There's no right answer. That's the point. Let's be real about what's happening in the Eastern Conference right now. The Celtics just lost Jason Tatum to injury and traded away Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. Their window didn't close, but it definitely got smaller. The Pacers are without Tyrese Halliburton for the entire season after he tore his Achilles in the finals. Their magical run is over before it started. Milwaukee's aging. Philadelphia's question marks are still question marks. Miami's not the same team. The East is wide open, and the Knicks have the talent, the coach, and now the system to actually win it. Brown inherited a team that went 51-31 and made the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the foundation. But what he's building on top of it, this Warriors-inspired offense with more size, more shooting, more versatility, that's championship-level stuff.
Think about the math here. The Knicks were already good enough to compete. Now, they're adding an offensive system that's proven to win at the highest level. They're taking two All-NBA players in Brunson and Towns and putting them in positions to be even better versions of themselves. And they're doing it with one of the deepest rosters in the league. Mikal Bridges is a two-way force. OG Anunoby is a defensive monster who can shoot. Josh Hart does everything. Miles McBride provides energy off the bench. This isn't just about tweaking the offense. This is about becoming a completely different animal. Brown knows what he's walking into. When they introduced him, he talked about it directly. Nobody has bigger expectations than I do. But this is the Knicks. I talked about Madison Square Garden being iconic. I love and accept the expectations that come with it. That's the right answer. Because the pressure in New York is real. This isn't Sacramento, where breaking a playoff drought was the goal. This isn't Cleveland in 2005, where just making the playoffs was progress.
This is Madison Square Garden. This is the Knicks. The fans demand excellence. The media scrutinizes everything. And the front office didn't hire Brown to run it back. They hired him to win now. But here's the thing. Brown's been here before. He coached LeBron James in Cleveland. He coached Kobe Bryant in Los Angeles. He went to the finals. He won Coach of the Year twice. He's been part of championship teams. The pressure doesn't scare him. It fuels him. Look, I'm not going to sit here and guarantee the Knicks win the championship. Basketball doesn't work that way. There are too many variables, too many things that have to go right. But what I will tell you is this. Mike Brown's system works. It's won multiple championships. It's beaten the best teams in the world. And now it's being implemented with two All-NBA players who are perfect fits for what it requires.
If the Knicks get this right, if Towns becomes the hub Brown envisions, if Brunson adapts to playing more off the ball, if Robinson stays healthy enough to anchor the defense, this team isn't just good. They're scary. The Eastern Conference better be ready. Because the Knicks aren't just trying to compete anymore. They're trying to dominate. And they've got the coach, the system, and the talent to actually do it. What do you think?
Is this the year the Knicks finally break through, or are we getting ahead of ourselves? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started.